Uh, I'm Dr. Amit Pandey. I'll be presenting on Ologen versus mitomycin, safer wound modulation in trabeculectomy. I've done my long-term glaucoma fellowship and research fellowship from Shankar Nethralaya. I've been working in Surat as a consultant since last 5 years. Currently, I'm with the Center for Sight in Surat. I do not have any financial disclosures. I'll be taking this talk on these four subheadings: what, why, when, and how. What Ologen is basically, what is the mechanism of action, why is it a safer alternative to mitomycin C, and what about the efficacy as compared to MMC? Are there any specific indications or contraindications of Ologen, when to use it, and how to use it? What is the surgical technique like? Coming on to the first question of what Ologen is, basically it is a biodegradable porous porcine collagen implant which contains atelocollagen and lyophilized glycosaminoglycans. It has pore size between 10 to 300 microns, and it gives a controlled resistance to the aqueous outflow. In the long term, it helps in formation of a loose connective tissue matrix in the bleb area by acting as a scaffold for the growth of fibroblasts and helps in tissue remodeling. It degrades at around 3 to 6 months after implantation. So this is how it looks like up close, and this is the package that it comes in. The model that we use now is 830601. The version is 3. It comes in two models. One is this circular model that you see on the left-hand side. It's 6 mm in diameter and 2 mm in thickness. Whereas the square model that you see, it's a larger model where the dimensions are around 10 mm by 10 mm and the thickness remains 2 mm. This has been reported, that 10 mm size has been reported to be used in multiple cases, in two cases at once, by dividing it into two equal halves, equal triangles, and then implanting it in two patients on the same day. You cannot store the Ologen, so it has to be used on the same day. I haven't tried that. I've been using the 6x2 version only. Coming on to the mechanism of action, how it works. In the early post-operative period, when there's something called as dynamic scleral flap movement that happens. The scleral flap has to be sutured loosely for it to allow movement. When the intraocular pressure starts increasing, more of the aqueous starts coming in the bleb area. And this Ologen, being a porous material, it absorbs this aqueous, increases in its weight, and then presses down on the scleral flap to decrease the aqueous outflow. The reverse happens once the intraocular pressure decreases and the aqueous decreases coming into the bleb area. In the long term, what happens is the Ologen acts as a scaffold for the fibroblast to grow, as you can see here, and form a very loose connective tissue matrix with cystic spaces in between for the aqueous to drain. So at the end, you will end up with a normal looking conjunctival structure with a functional bleb. Coming on to the question of why is it a safer option than mitomycin C? As we know, antimetabolites, mitomycin C and 5-fluorouracil have enhanced our trabeculectomy success rates by preventing the episcleral fibrosis and scarring of the bleb. But these are relatively toxic agents, and they are associated with corneal toxicity, wound leak, overfiltration, and hypotony in the immediate postoperative period. And in the long term, it is associated with avascular blebs, bleb leaks, blebitis, and endophthalmitis. These complications we see in our OPD, they are not very rare. They're not very uncommon, but these are not complications of trabeculectomy per se. These are complications of the use of antimetabolites. This is the kind of bleb that you get with Ologen. As you can see here, the vasculature of the conjunctiva over the bleb area is normal looking. and you do not get a thin avascular bleb as you see with mitomycin C. The UBM photograph also shows hyporeflective areas in the bleb area, which shows that the aqueous is getting drained over a period of time. That is more beautifully ASOCT photographs, where you can see these hyporeflective microcystic spaces in these three photographs. This is a scarred failed bleb where you do not see those microcystic spaces. What has been my experience? I've been implanting this since last 5 years. I've implanted more than 200 eyes with more than 6 months follow-up. I've got an IOP reduction of around 50% from baseline, and the change in the number of glaucoma medications have been almost 5-fold. The complications that I have encountered, I had a case of endophthalmitis recently, and I had 3 cases of transient early postoperative hypotony, but all those were successfully managed medically and did not require any surgical intervention. There has been no bleb leaks or any allergic reactions to Ologen. Coming on to the literature, phaco, there was a recent prospective randomized control trial comparing Ologen with mitomycin in phacotrabeculectomies, and they concluded by saying that it is a safe, effective alternative to MMC in combined phacotrabs. Other meta-analyses have also been published where they have comparable results between MMC and Ologen in terms of efficacy and reduction in the number of glaucoma medications, success rates, and tolerability also. Another prospective study from Bangladesh have shown that there were no adverse reactions to Ologen, and the success rate and safety profile there have been studies from India as well, long-term studies.
Amit, you can continue because it was 6 minutes. Timing is 10 minutes per talk, I think.
Right. There have been negative reports also where the efficacy was questioned in small cases. But most of these reports were before 2011, 2012, where the older model of Ologen was used, which was quite thick, around 4 mm in thickness. 7 mm by 4 mm was the dimensions then. And those Ologen implants did not yield very good results. Coming on to the indications, when to use Ologen, this is my practice pattern. I usually use it for moderate glaucomas, which are not medically controlled and require trabeculectomies. In patients with high risk of hypotony, like in old age, in high myopia, and patients who have had history of hypotony or related posterior segment complications in the other eye. Patients with thin, fragile conjunctivas where you don't want to use antifibrotics, compromised corneal endothelium, as we know mitomycin is endotheliotoxic, and in the rare cases where you would operate a pregnant lady as MMC is contraindicated, we can use Ologen. There are other indications also mentioned in the literature. Coming on to the contraindications and limitations, I usually avoid it in advanced glaucomas or in patients who require very large IOP reductions. In secondary uveitic and neovascular glaucomas also, I try to avoid Ologen. In Muslim patients, I tell them about the porcine origin of this implant, and if they are okay with it, only then I go ahead with the surgery. Cost is the biggest limiting factor because the extra 8 to 10,000 has to be borne by the patient. And that is a limiting factor in many times. Coming on to the how part, what is the surgical technique like? I'll just go through it quite quickly. The surgical steps remain the same until the closure of the scleral flap. The scleral flap suturing, I take an apical interrupted suture, which is quite loose as compared to how we normally close the scleral flap in a trabeculectomy. As you can see here, the apical suture is loose and not as tight as we normally would want it to be. This will allow for that dynamic scleral flap movement in the early postoperative period. I also take a releasable side suture, which I take it as a safety precaution more than anything else. And I remove this quite early in the post-operative period at around third or fourth day. I usually take it for preventing those early flat ACs or early hypotony-related complications if the patient rubs his or her eyes or sleeps on the operation side. To prevent that flat AC from happening, I take this and I remove it quite early as compared to what I would normally do in an MMC trap. Yeah, this is the Ologen implant. It goes in easily in the subconjunctival space, and we can close the conjunctiva over the Ologen implant without any issues. Doesn't require any extra skill set. If you are okay in doing a trabeculectomy, you can easily perform an Ologen implant also. A conjunctival closure, a watertight conjunctival closure is ensured. Like there have been other modifications also. I haven't tried any of those. These are my references. Thank you for your kind attention.